Hello dear traders, it's Petko Alexandrov and I continue now with the different chart types that we have and the time frames. So the first thing I will go to is the chart types. There are three basic chart types. This is the bar chart, the candlesticks and a line chart. So if I just zoom in any of the cryptocurrency, let me make it a little bit bigger. The first and most common type of chart are the candlesticks, or they call them as well Japanese candlesticks, because they were developed during 18th century by Munehisa Homa, who was a Japanese rice trader. And later on they were described in the book Japanese Candlesticks Charting Techniques by Steve Nissen, I think it was, who actually represented these candlesticks to the Western world, and they got really famous because they are very visual, much more visual than the bars and the line that I will show you. So what we have here, guys, if I zoom it, each candlestick represents 1 hour if we are on an hourly chart. If we go to H4 chart, each candlestick represents 4 hours. And if I go to daily, obviously each candlestick will represent daily chart. If I put the mouse on the closing of every bar, or let's take yesterday because today is not finished yet. If I take yesterday and if I put it on the closing, you will see that I have 4 values. This is the open, the high, the low and the close. So if I take this day for example, there is a green body and there are 2 lines up and down. So the body represents the distance between the opening and the close of the candlestick, and the lines represents the maximum the price went during this day and the minimum, the lowest level that the price reached during this day. So if I put the mouse on the closing of the bar, you will see that we have 4 values there. We have the opening, the high, the low and the closing price, okay? And we have the volume, which we actually do not use when it comes to trading with brokers, because they show the volume of their clients and not the global volume. So this bar is the distance between the opening and the close. So this day opened at this level, it went up and down, and it closed at this level. Okay, so it formed a positive day because it opened nearly at 1080 and it closed at 1140, 50 something. But it went up and down, and we can see how far it went down and how far it went up during this day. And after that we have another day that opens and the price goes up and down, and another day and another day, and you can see today the price opened nearly at 1258, and if it close below this level it will form a red candlestick, which means it's a negative day. So the very important things we have here with the candlesticks are the open, the close, the high and the low of each candlestick. And if you're on a daily chart, each candlestick represents 1 day. If I go down to H1 again, each 1 bar represents 1 hour. So now is 17:55 my time. After 5 minutes a new bar will open H1 chart. The other type of charts are the bar charts. So it's the very same thing here. We have these vertical lines that represent the 1 hour, and they show where the price went to the maximum and to the lowest point during this hour, and they show where the bar was open and where the bar was closed. So you see there are the vertical lines, and then we have these short horizontal lines. On the left side of the vertical line we have the small horizontal line which represents the opening, and we have the small horizontal line on the right side which represents the closing. Alright, but as you can see, it's not really visual which bar is positive and which bar is negative. Of course, if you get used with that, you will know. I mean, by looking at these lines, I can say vertical and horizontal lines, I know very clearly which ones are positive and which ones are negative. But simply guys, with the candlestick it's much more visual just from the first sight. Even you're a beginner trader, it's easy to understand which bar is negative and which bar is positive. And the third type we have the line chart. So normally the line is just connecting the closing of each bar that we see on the candlesticks or on the bars. Actually, it's connecting the closing of these bars and it's forming the line. Obviously here we have much less information. We see where the price is, at what level, we see the movement, but we don't see exactly at what hour, where was the price, where were the negative and the positive hours. And it's really hard actually to do any trading with line chart. That's why the most common ones are the bars and the candlesticks. Obviously there are other types of chart. There are two lines that are representing the bid and the ask price. There are Renko charts which ignore actually the time. We have some great strategies as well with the Renko chart, but the most common one I can say is the candlestick, because it's much more visual and it's much easier to be used. Okay guys, so this is pretty much about the different chart types. It's your choice which one you want to use, and it really depends on the strategy that we are using. With the expert advisors, with the robots, when we do algorithmic trading, it doesn't really matter what chart type you use, because simply we put the trading robot over the chart and it trades according to the entry and exit conditions it has inside the code, and it doesn't matter what is the type chart. But I will talk about the expert advisors later on in the course. Thank you for watching and let me know if you have any questions. Cheers, bye.